So to get to the point where we're not, for me, to get to the point where I am unaffected, is the path to that forgiveness, silent prayer?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's what I want you to do. Stay with the prayer, and whenever the ego feel something, fear or shame or doubt or worry, or somebody may talk about you, you don't want to go around because you're afraid they're going to talk about you, or whatever it might be, let that happen to the ego. So that's carrying your cross. You're going to the cross. And on the cross, the ego will die, but if you protect that by not wanting to feel ashamed or feel embarrassed or feel like nobody likes you in the crowd, if you protect that ego, you won't make it to the cross. You won't get there. Stop protecting the not you. And don't care what anybody says. And the only reason that it bothers you or me or anyone, right, is because I believe here. And I feel here. I believe the thoughts, I feel the body. So the real fear is inside of you. It's not out there with them. It's in you. They have their own fear. But you'll think that they are making you afraid, but they're not. That situation is causing your ego to feel it. But if you didn't have it in you, you couldn't feel it. You can only feel the ego pain if it's inside of you. But when you shed it, you can't feel it because there's nothing there to feel.
Okay, well, so if someone were to say, hey, I saw you steal from, this is just a random example. We're working together, a coworker says, I saw you steal something. The person is innocent. I'm innocent. Yet my supervisor says, I'm gonna have to write you up, you're being terminated. What do you do? Do you even defend yourself?
That's a good one. That's a practical thing you're talking about, right? Because that can't happen. But the first thing, let's say someone go there and say, I saw you steal, but you know you didn't, right? Just sit there and watch them tell their story. Okay. Sit there and look at them lying, because your first thing is you're going to want to overreact. No, I didn't steal. That wasn't me. You're lying on me. You want to protect it, right? The ego. But let them say what they have to say, and then when it's your turn to say what happened, say what you have to say, and it'll be taken care of.
Okay.
You know what you did it or not, right? But that first situation, do not react to it. Take it, and the mind and the feeling gonna want you to react. They want you to go, oh, you just lying on me. You stole it, and want to argue and all that. Don't do it. Sit there shaking your boots, because the mind going to be working overtime, and the fear and everything going to be there. It's going to want you to overreact. Don't do it. Don't argue with the devil.
So no emotion.
None.
Eradicate all the emotion.
That's right. And don't try to make that happen on yourself, because if you try to make yourself overcome emotion, you're just piling up emotion. But if you sit there and endure the emotion, you're overcoming it.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you'll get your chance to tell your boss, no, that wasn't me. I don't know what they're talking about. Or you tell them what happened. And you do it in a calm-like fashion with the light, and it'll always work out for you.
Thank you.
That make sense?
Yes.
That's a really good question.
I appreciate that.
But let's say that somebody say, oh, I saw you last night slutting around. I thought you were so holy. I saw you out there slutting. And they say it in front of your best friend. And let's say that you were slutting. Not that you're going to slut, but let's say you were.
Or that I'm going to steal, which is an example.
That's right.
Yeah.
and the first thing the ego want to do is cover it up, overreact to it, snap back at the person, run away from the problem, hide in some way. All right? Don't do it. If they say, well, I saw you slutting, you sit there watching, you relax, and let the devil have his way. And let it go right through you. It's going to blow your mind. But if you overreact, you clogging up the drain, and it's just going to destroy you. But if you let it pass right through you, and don't worry about what your friends think about, oh, my friend just heard I was slutting. That's the devil telling you that because he's trying to get a reaction from you. Don't do it. That make sense?
100. I've seen you model this on all of your shows. I've seen you model it. So yeah, it makes
When
sense.
God took away my anger, I didn't even know the depths of it at the time, but I knew that he had stopped me from overreacting. When things happened, it didn't bother me. And I knew it was because he took the spirit of anger out of my heart. Because I used to overreact. I used to be emotional and afraid and couldn't do anything. But when he took the anger away from me, everything changed. And now he's destroying the ego in ways that I never imagined. And he'll do the same for you. He's going to get rid of all this illusion that you're living in your head. He really will. And all those the emotion come from the lie. It doesn't come from God. The emotion of feeling good and the emotion of feeling bad come from the lie. It comes from the ego. It has nothing to do with you, and it has nothing to do with God. And not only will you walk in the spirit of perfect love, you're going to love your enemy. You will love them. And you won't even think about, oh, I love my enemy. You won't think about that at all. You just have nothing but love without even thinking about it. And if somebody want to play with you, fine. If they don't, fine. You understand.
Yeah,
It won't be a big deal.
I get it.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And that's what it means to be born again. To born from the heart, and he'll shed all the garbage away from you. All the stuff you picked up along the way. It's just all ego, and it was never you. That's not the sin. The sin is of the heart. That's why he says that anyone has anger, he's a murderer, because their heart is hardened. And that's why people try to hurt each other, because their heart are hardened, their hearts are evil, and they got to hurt you so they can feel better. And they'll go from person to person, seeing who they can destroy. But they can't destroy you once the ego is gone and you realize that's not you. There's nothing there to destroy. Because it's not you, and they don't know it. They're so blind they can't see it's not you. Amazing, huh?
It is.
Nice.
Amazing.
Any other questions? Was that helpful a little bit?
Yeah.
In what way was it helpful?
Well, I'm just always amazed that there's something new that I get, and today it's like, it is actually so simple, and my brain and my mind is so tired.
Yes.
I have no,
The brain
like, and
will
now that
weigh
I
you
see
down.
this, it's like, I can see myself, I don't know, there was just so much said today that it was just, I maybe didn't really look at it that way, just like you said, I was raised with a lie. This whole
Yeah.
world has been raised
The
with
whole
a lie.
world raised with a lie.
And that alone, it's like, I'm just over it. You know what I mean? I'm really over it, and I really do enjoy, although I will say it's only frustrating because I feel like I should just have this, like everything should just, by the way, I just have to keep growing and living.
And that coming
yeah.
from a thought too.
Right, it is.
When you get
is.
frustrated with it,
I
the
see
devil
it.
says,
I
oh, you
know.
should have it by now.
I know. That's I get
Where's
it.
God? Why is God so hard to get to?
Yeah, so
That's all thoughts,
I know
all lies.
it all the time, but I do enjoy it, and I can see myself while I'm at work. It happened the other day. Somebody said something to me, and I didn't pause, and my reaction was I saw my ego, but I didn't make myself wrong or even feel bad about it. I just was like, wow, this is so,
I want you to do that all the time.
Yeah,
When the ego hurt, it's not you. When you feel pain, pain is not good. Pain is not good. So knowing that pain is not good, know that it's not you.
yeah,
So
I can see
when you
that.
feel ego pain, fear, worry, doubt, afraid of something or this or that, just know it's not you. Let it happen.
Yeah,
Don't react to it.
This whole week has been like that for me, where I've had the distinction that it's not me, and I will have to say, like, in the interim, like, I feel like I really am not thinking about a lot,
Yep.
and I'm really at peace. And it's like, well, when I walk in, something will happen. There, you figure out what you're doing, and then it's like, it's just fascinating how the devil works. Not really fascinating that he should be winning awards about it, but it's just, my entire life I've been listening to the devil, and
This is why I say that all Christians are atheists, because they listen to the intellect. They listen to the teacher that tells them Jesus God. They listen to the teacher and they start quoting it and they believe in it and they're miserable. They don't know it, they just intellectually have it. So they're atheists because they don't know the Father, they don't believe in Him, they just believe about Him. So they're atheists. They still have fear, they still have envy, jealousy, and worry. I know some of the most, I personally know people who read the Bible like they're having watermelon. And just miserable, jealous and worry and envious and no love. Atheists.
yeah, I've never heard it put that way, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Complete sense, yeah.
And they don't know it though. It's like, I didn't know what I know until He allowed me to see. I just didn't know it because no one said it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it growing up. And so I didn't know it until I started really wanting to know.
Yeah.
I want to know. I've always wanted to know. As a kid, I used to want to know, what is it like to be a son of God while you live? I didn't want to wait till I die, because I have read in the scriptures that we can have it right now. He came that we may have perfect peace. People don't believe you can have perfect peace on earth. They say, oh, we are human. We can't have it. Why are you identifying with being a human? You are a spirit. And that's why they don't have perfect peace. We can have it now. You have it at an instant if we were so identified with the false self, with the thoughts and feelings.